President Donald Trump declaring a national emergency today to get more federal dollars for his long-promised wall at the U.S.-Mexico border. Good evening, everyone. I'm Lindsay Mills.
And I'm Lee Goldberg. President Trump relying on a broad interpretation of his powers that is certain to trigger stiff legal challenges. Just hours after the declaration, Press Secretary Sarah Sanders says he had also signed the spending bill to avert another government shutdown and pay for limited fencing along the U.S.-Mexico border.
Right now, the FBI and police are responding to an active shooter situation at a manufacturing company in Aurora, Illinois. It's a suburb located west of Chicago. Officials there are reporting the shooter has been apprehended. Multiple people and officers are injured. At least 2 people are hospitalized.
Well, since neither of the weekend days are actually Wednesday, it probably won't snow because it's only been snowing on Wednesdays lately. So it looks like we're good this year, right? I mean, this weekend?
That's the pattern.
Ironically, not ironically, it's the wrong choice of words. Next week, it might snow on Wednesday night and Thursday. So we're in that pattern, Lee. It's good. It's whether people don't have to work at the weekends. I know that's important to you. Rain showers along the coastline. Kind of a nasty day along the coast. Actually, a little bit nicer where it's been snowing. Down East Maine is involved in that. And Bangor just changing over from snow now into sleet and some rain. Take a look at the temperatures. 40s along the coast, so mid 40s, low 40s here, and then 30 in Freiburg. You can see sleet and rain mixed in the mountains of New Hampshire. And then across northern Maine and down East Maine, it is all snow, temperatures into the 30s. And the only thing that I'd say was a little bit tricky on the forecast is that we did get a little accumulation even to the coast here over down East Maine, even though it's a relatively quick shot of snow. So all that changes over to rain showers tonight, and then we go from rain showers to another flurry in the mountains around 9 or 10 o'clock at night, and then after that a little bit breezy but quiet overnight. And then tomorrow's a good looking day. Temperatures in the mid and upper 30s along the coastline, and then across the interior it's closer to freezing, the mountains in the upper 20s. Both weekend days look good. I prefer Saturday a little bit because it is a bit warmer. Sunday's going to start off cold, and so we're going to be a little bit cooler during the afternoon as well. I mentioned before that it was going to be 38, and Lindsay was like, I'm going outside, going to enjoy myself. Doesn't take much in February,
does
it?
It doesn't. 38 sounds beautiful.
I was gonna say, that's beach weather. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Well, we have been talking a lot lately about incidents where women have claimed that their drinks were drugged while they were out on the town. It's certainly not a new issue, but there have been multiple reports within the past month or so.
Social media pages popping up everywhere with people recounting what happened to them, or at least the parts that they can remember. Back in 2002, the Portland Police Department partnered with the Amy St. Laurent Foundation to offer Rape Aggression Defense, or RAD, training to members of the community. Each session is comprised of 5 classes, and it seems to be more necessary now than ever before.
You know, and I hate to be like this, but I think we're at a day and age where we can't put our drinks down, unfortunately, and you want to go out with trusted people, but can you guarantee that they're going to watch that drink while you go to the restroom? So, as gross as it might sound, taking your drink with you or finishing it before you go in. But the difficult thing is with alcohol is, say you're getting a mixed drink, we don't know, you know, you get one drink and you're like, oh, that's not very strong. Well, if you get another drink and you get a different bartender, it could be much stronger. So we always talk about date rape drugs in the class. Well, the #1 date rape drug that we see is alcohol, alone and in itself.
Now, if you want to register for a RAD class or get some more information, you just go to the Amy St. Laurent Foundation's website.
That's something I am interested in to try it out. So
All right, lots more now to come, including a check-in with Chris Costa as we continue to tackle the topic of moving over when there are lights on behind you. That story coming up.
And do you think that this historic plaque you're about to see should be removed? A lot of people say yes, others say leave it be. The full story when we come back.
Guys. All right.
Justin, you need to go back.
Sorry about that, guys. I just could not get that turned quick enough.
It's okay.
I should have stayed in Augusta.
What's up, Facebook?
What's up, everybody? What's up? For some reason, Facebook is not loading for me.
What's up, Paul and Leo and Kathy? Yeah, Eric, I mean, you got to be careful, unfortunately. Got to be careful.
Oh, Eric says it's a good day for sledding tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay.
Jennifer says that that's a great class, so I'm assuming she's talking about the RAD class.
Yeah.
So Yeah.
So yeah. That's right.
Hey, we got 100 people watching. All right.
Nice.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, everybody.
Okay.
Did anybody go out
Hey,
on the
Carrie.
roads today? I'm curious, because when I was out there this afternoon going to Augusta, it was...
It was not fun.
No, not really.
Funny.
Not to say the crews were out there.
Oh,
they were
yeah.
plowing and salting and everything, but it just... I mean,
It was a mess.
It changed from rain into snow around the Bowdoin area.
Right.
So just remember, we don't have a prompter for this.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, sounds good. That's fine.
So you guys have 2 shot on me first,
Okay.
and then also 3 shot.
Where should I stand? Do you want to get situated and then I'll situate around you?
No.
Are you going to be on the inside?
No, I'm just moving this for you so it's not the left to right way.
Oh, okay, okay. So am I standing here? So I'm on the inside?
Does that work for you? Is Bill happy with that?
Yeah, that should.
I know we didn't do much on the specifics of this one in New Hampshire, but it's kind of a weird case. Did you hear about this?
No.
They pulled over a driver for DWI. While the tow truck was taking that driver's car away, the 2 troopers in this car and the tow truck driver were almost hit. Well, the car was sideswiped by another car.
Oh my gosh.
That went off and they caught him.
That's
Isn't that
so
crazy?
scary.
Yeah.
It's so scary. It's so
It's
so
like-
scary.
it's like- I don't know. Come on, guys, what are you doing?
Don't come in any more than you are. No.
Come as you are.
Okay, stand by, guys.
More first responders hit in the line of duty overnight after police say a man in New Hampshire failed to move over while first responders were on the side of the road.
Chris Costa joins us now to explain what Maine's laws are all about when it comes to this.
Yeah, Lee and Lindsay, after we ran that story yesterday, a lot of you started talking on social media saying you're curious, and you're also calling Maine's move over slow down law unclear because it does not specify how much a driver must slow down when they see those emergency lights on the side of the road. We spoke to a state police trooper who was hit performing that exact same duty, and he says there's no need to put a number on it. This is the moment that changed Trooper Greg Stevens' life forever.
Laying behind the passenger front seat, my hips were still in the driver's seat behind the steering wheel, and then that pain kicked in on my left side.
He was attending to a broken down tractor trailer on the side of I-295 in Richmond 3 years ago.
And as that was going, the truck was pulling away. I reached, put it into drive, and then I looked down at my outside rearview mirror and saw the bumper of the tractor trailer truck right there. And my reaction was just to hit the gas. And then I came to, and I was facing the southbound lane.
Therefore, 911 assist call.
That's when a second tractor trailer smashed into his cruiser from behind, breaking his ribs and neck.
There's not a day that goes by that something doesn't remind me of it. If I'm roadside checking on people, yeah, I get sometimes the hairs stand up on my neck.
Maine's move over slow down law requires drivers to move over if it is safely possible to do so, or slow down to a careful and prudent speed. Woolwich Fire Chief Mike Demers wants drivers to slow down as much as possible.
Slow down doesn't mean just a little bit. Slow down for us means slow down to a crawl.
On social media, dozens of you say Maine's law is too subjective. Trooper Stevens says it's not that black and white.
Well, they call it, it rocks your car, so a car rocker. You can feel the whole cruiser rock when they go by so close to you. So to try to hang a number off, there's too many environmental factors at that time, and that's why they listed it as a prudent speed.
Maine State Police vehicles now have reflective stickers in addition to the flashing lights to make them more visible on the road, inspired by Trooper Stevens' crash. And he says the small inconvenience of slowing down could make a big difference.
You know, taking a life when you could have just slowed down a little bit. Are we that much of a hurry where we just can't say, okay, there's somebody's family standing there? Could be my family.
Now, there are other states like Texas that say that drivers must slow down to below 20 miles below the posted speed limit. But in this case, Trooper Stevens says that's not necessary because of all those environmental conditions. He also knows Trooper John Davis, who was hit this past December while on the side of the Maine Turnpike. He says that Trooper Davis is not back to work yet. It took Trooper Stevens about 4 months to get back to work. And guys, he says that even sometimes when he gets a hug from a loved one, he can feel that pain in his ribs. And it's just crazy to think that there are people out there doing their job, trying to protect everybody and help those drivers who are stuck on the side of the road or involved in a crash, and people aren't moving over.
It's
so they're
such
really
a simple
calling.
thing to do. It's really bizarre why it's not just commonplace. Like that everybody, you learn that in driver's ed. You know, it's like that should be just what everybody's doing. So. All right, sir.
Thank you so much. With that recent snow we just got this week, officers also want to make sure drivers are safe too out on the roads.
Yeah, the Franklin County Sheriff's Office is posting a powerful picture that says, a good reminder to please clear all of your car windshields before you decide to drive. We are in the middle of February, and you know what that means. High school basketball tournament time. Venues in Portland, Augusta, and Bangor will be very busy this time of year as teams try to live out their dreams of winning that elusive gold ball.
Jess Gagne is live in Augusta tonight, and we're wondering if tourney fever has hit the Civic Center yet, Jess.
It definitely has. Tourney fever is raging here already, I would say. It's a Class A North day here in Augusta, and the girls are on the floor. We've already seen Lawrence take on Madomic Valley. That game started at 3 o'clock, and it's third-seeded Lawrence moving on in that one. Final score, 57-33. They're going to play the winner of this game that's taking place right behind me right now. Hampton Academy facing Erskine, and at halftime the score was 23-15, and we have another A North girls game to follow here. So like you guys said, action happening in Augusta tonight at the Portland Expo and up in Bangor. We've got more stories for you coming up on News Center Maine at 6 o'clock, because you guys know the tournament is definitely about the basketball, but it's so much more than that. There are great stories that come out of every location every single year, so we want to make sure we're showing you guys those special moments that are happening. I've got a great story that has to do with the Lawrence Band that's happening here, so if you guys tune into News Center Maine at 6 o'clock, you'll be able to catch that, plus all your score updates, of course. Lee and Lindsay, I'll send it back to you in the studio.
Yeah, you left out the most important part of the tournament. That would be the hot dogs. So that's really all anybody cares about.
Right. I have the French fries. This is what I'm eating right now.
We knew there would be food next year. We knew
that's
that.
where it's at, Jess.
That's what really matters. Okay. Coming up later on in the show, we're going to talk with Maddie, the intern. It's getting close to graduation. Oh my goodness, the stress of being a senior. Senioritis stories coming up.
And is Keithitis a thing? If senioritis is a thing? Let's see. Jess is the best.
That's awesome. Antidote, Jess. What do you got?
Yeah, you got a lot of them here.
Sydney says snow, seeing a trooper or anyone on the side of the road should give you enough reason to move over. How do they even hit a stationary car? Goodness.
Common sense, slow down, says Gene. Common sense, that's the theme. Ginger says if you have to be told how much to slow down, you are the problem. Use your head. How fast would you want somebody going past you?
That's what I heard a lot yesterday, especially from the firefighters too, was, you know, if so flip-flop places, right? Stand in my shoes. So you were the driver, now you're the firefighter standing on the side of the road. How fast would you want me going?
Exactly.
Is it 30?
It's fair.
Is it 50? Is
No,
it 70?
not even. No,
you know, I'm not asking you. I'm just saying that's what they put forth to some of those drivers yesterday, which is an interesting point.
Sure.
And
Bonnie says it's about showing compassion for our men in blue.
Well, I was just going to say, it's not even just about police officers necessarily, although they are the ones that end up in these crashes a lot. I mean, I looked at the stats today. In the state of Maine, just the sworn officers, we've got 2,300. There are plenty of other civilians who are also police officers as well. You know, but we've got 2,300 people potentially all over the state. Municipal, sheriff's office, state police, that you guys are driving by every day. Theoretically, if they've got a car pulled over. These are your friends, these are your neighbors, your family members. So they're asking that people just show them a little courtesy.
Definitely.
And again, what I was going to say was it doesn't just go for police officers or firefighters or EMTs and paramedics. I mean, it's DOT, same thing.
They're talking about school buses, people going by the flashing lights as well. Maddie Rayner's watching. Hey, Maddie.
I'm assuming that they do teach this still. I remember
we're in the
days,
newsroom.
one of the first things I learned in driver's ed was if when you see lights on, you pull over.
Right, right.
And that's a different story entirely. If they're coming up behind you, you do the part the C's kind of thing. You won't do that either.
I really don't even know if we need this light.
Thank you for bringing this. If you did. Oh, Jeff, thank you.
Sorry. Okay, so am I out of all this?
I just didn't throw your name in there anywhere.
Oh,
You want to
that's
pick
okay.
it up at, I'll say Savage Enemies, and you can say Concerned Residents and take it from there.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'll do concerned?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to see.
And then we can walk back during the VO.
Stand by.
The stop's long, too.
Yeah, you're walking back in the view.
Oh, is it both sides?
Yeah. A 90-year-old historic marker is removed from a Yarmouth cemetery after concerns came about offensive language. The plaque refers to Native Americans as savage enemies.
Now, concerned residents say that the marker's language is inconsistent with today's values. It was removed from the cemetery last week and brought to the Yarmouth Historical Society. The Society's director says the sign will be archived for educational purposes, and they need to spend some time researching to uncover the context behind it.
Context is an important part of learning from our past and letting our past inform. It's important not to necessarily view things from a 21st century perspective, but to understand the context in which things are created, but also be aware that every generation thinks differently.
Meanwhile, the team at the state's Historical Society is working with the Wabanaki advisors to seek their perspectives on Maine's history. It's part of a new exhibit launching in April called Holding Up the Sky.
And a lot of you are joining in on the conversation on Facebook right now. Jackie says, "This is very sad. Trying to erase history is totally wrong. This being offended by just about everything is definitely going to ruin this country."
Linda Weber writes, "It's history, leave it alone." And Rob Kennedy adds, "Just a reminder that changing something's location is not erasing it." We want you to join the conversation right now on our Facebook and YouTube live streams.
All right, he's back. Dun, dun, dun.
Just fixing my tie.
Just
Looked
fixing
weird.
the tie. This is the tie that everybody asks, is that Santa Claus?
It does look
or
like
what?
Santa Claus.
Some of my dog
They're
hair on here.
flowers.
They're flowers. Yes, it's a floral thing, which is it's hot right now.
I didn't realize Reese shed.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when he lays in your shirt, then yeah, eventually. Weekend's quiet. Do you have dogs, Lee? Do you have any dogs? Couple dogs? No. To be fair, Lindsay, when we adopted Reese's, they said he was a standard-sized Dachshund that didn't shed. He's a miniature Dachshund that does shed.
Yeah.
We kept him though. We kept him. Total bait and switch though. All right, here's a look at the radar. We've got some rain along the coastline, snow farther inland, and even into down East Maine. It just changed over there. Temperatures are squarely warm enough into the 40s along the coast, 37 in Lewiston, 31 in Freiburg with some sleet pinging in there. And it did start to snow over down East Maine, which we thought would be the case. And now it's changed over to rain, still snowing in Millinocket and Holton, 32 and 24. I just want to show you how much rain has fallen so far, and some of this is mixed precipitation, so 0.45 inches in Wiscasset, only a quarter in Portland. I found that surprising. We'll have to check the latest totals here shortly, and 0.23 in Augusta. So it wasn't really that heavy of an event, but it has been kind of nasty in spots, especially where it's been a cold rain. That continues for the next few hours, ends as perhaps a snow flurry or snow squall later on tonight, and then we clear out after that. The weekend, as we've talked about, looks good, looks sunny. I like tomorrow a little bit better than Sunday. It's a little bit warmer, and there's a huge difference this time of the year between that 37, 38 degrees and sunny and 30 and sunny, and that's going to be the difference between Saturday and Sunday. You can see Sunday we start cold, and so we struggle a little bit here by Sunday afternoon, only getting to around 30 degrees. Teens in the mountains. Skiers are psyched though. They got a little bit more snow today. They said 6 inches. Probably not, but whatever. They got 3 or 4 more inches of snow on top of the 20 they got from the last storm, so it's been a good little run for them there. So an active little pattern, a couple of things to talk about. One is a storm that's just going to stay to our south on Monday, but might give us a few snow flurries. So I put a flurry into the forecast on Monday. The next larger storm system that looks to impact us is next Wednesday and Thursday, as Lee has predicted. And at this point, it looks kind of similar to the last one, but maybe just a little bit lighter as far as precipitation totals go. So we'll keep an eye on that. With any luck, we can get a storm that's all snow But I don't know, we haven't had much luck doing that so far. Here are the snowfall totals so far for the season. Caribou having all the fun, 128 inches there. The rest of us pretty much average-ish. You know, if we stay on this pace here, we're going to just have a normal winter. Although it's felt like a strange winter.
It has.
It doesn't have any real feeling to it. You know what? I realized what it was earlier today. The last couple of years we've had 3 storms in 1 week at one point in the winter. Last year it was March. The year before it was February, if you remember. And this year we haven't had any of those boom, boom, boom kind of deals.
They've been paced out nicely.
Right. So if we don't have any of that, I think it changes the feeling of the winter. There's still time though, so we'll see.
Oh, good.
Yay.
Thanks.
Yeah.
All right. Still time for Maddie the intern as well, because college isn't over yet, but the end is getting closer.
I'm almost stressed for her thinking back to that time. She has some great advice for all the soon-to-be grads out there.
The countdown is getting very real.
Please, no! No!
For the next month, we'll talk about taking on the next big step. The syllabus includes finding the right business attire, interview tips and tricks, and more. Ahead of all that, I took to the UMass campus to see how some college seniors are feeling about the home stretch.
And you are a
Senior.
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 Senior. Senior. Let's go.
Are we ready to graduate?
I'm really scared.
I'm ready to be out of here, but I kind of don't know what to expect when I get out.
More or less, yeah. I'm finishing all my classes, so I guess that counts as ready.
Hopefully I can graduate. I don't know.
It's about time. Honestly, I'm pretty checked out.
I'm a little nervous, but I'm excited.
Not ready to graduate. Definitely need a couple more months.
And have you started looking for jobs? Or?
No.
Nope.
It probably should have started so far, but I haven't done it yet because I like to procrastinate on things.
I think I'm in a good spot. I mean, I have a few interviews lined up.
I'm just gonna wing it.
I should start doing that now.
I think I'm kind of feeling a little burnt out sometimes, so to push through that last bit can be a little bit of a challenge.
And biggest question of all, are you going to miss college?
No, not at all.
Like right now, I'd rather be out, but once I'm out, I'd rather be back.
Yes, of course.
Not really. No.
I'm kind of excited to get away from college, but I really don't want to leave at the same time.
I'll definitely miss being lazy and with fewer responsibilities, but no, I'm ready to get out.
Remember, we're all in this together. Please feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions or topics you want covered in the next few weeks. I'm Madison Rayner, and I'll see you next Friday at 5.
Some of those kids are like, yep, got a plan. Some are like, no plan, we're going to figure it out. So, sounds about right. Sounds about right. Good luck to all of them. That's right. All right, coming up on News Center Maine at 5:30, it remains one of the most controversial and passionate debates in all of America. And now a Maine lawmaker is proposing a bill that would cover all legal abortions in Maine, in some cases through insurance, in other with Maine tax dollars. We'll let you know more about what is being proposed.
And heat pumps are the new hot way to heat. We'll tell you why Governor Mills is hoping to convince 100,000 Maine people to install them in their homes. News Center now continues with Raindrops when we come back.
Those heat pumps, tell you, they're good. Good stuff.
Those heat pumps.
They're good?
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah. Very cheap to operate.
All right, Maddie's getting some love.
We have a little dinosaur story, I think.
We do.
What's Madison's? I know she was kind of on track to possibly. Now
Do you want to ask our Facebook audience?
No. Oh, that's right. Sorry. Probably on
Could have been a lot worse.
Probably shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Well, we can discuss this later.
It's like that time Keith and I forgot we were on Facebook Live and we were talking about CMP. Although we didn't really say anything bad,
Yeah.
It was just we were having an honest conversation.
It's okay. It's all good.
That was a good time.
I don't think they can take any more PR hits than they already have.
GTs. GTs. Oh! It's Friday. It's Friday. Gotta get down on Friday.
Oh, now, yeah. Yeah, well, that's his fault. It's a tough job now, right now. But, this actually. Sorry, my script didn't print.
Oh, it's all good.
So much brighter than them because your shirt.
Okay.
That's the conversation we're having. Is I was saying that cable companies,
yeah.
utility providers in general, don't get positive reviews no matter what.
Right.
Like, because people only
Somebody's
notice when
always
something's
mad
wrong.
about something.
Yeah. So like best case, you're neutral.
Like if you go a year and your internet never goes out and your TV's always fine, you're not going to be like, hey, they're the best.
Yeah, you're not
but
going to.
when it goes out for like an hour, you're like, I freaking lost it for an hour.
I pay so much money for this.
Right.
I'm trying to think like our gas
That's
provider.
the same I would guess with most things. Nobody tells you when you're doing well. They only tell you when you messed up.
Yeah, I whined about that this week. Snowfall.
I remember. I tried to give you credit.
I know. Our map was literally
I
perfect,
doubled down with
and,
the timing.
And nobody said anything wrong.
I even doubled down for you on the timing of it.
You did.
Because it was like clockwork.
Appreciate that.
Mills,
It's human nature.
What?
I guess.
I'm sorry. I'm yawning. I'm sorry, guys. Do you usually not wear a jacket? No, your tight jacket.
Just do what I want. I don't think usually can go in front of anything. Oh, look at this, kids.
I watched this so many times today.
Shoveling dinosaur. They can't see it. I gotta go over here so I can see it.
Yeah, one is snow blowing.
Oh, there we go.
I mean,
if you gotta do it, you might as well have some fun.
Right.
They're probably pretty warm.
This is in Westbrook. Oh, by the way.
Yeah.
I love it. You gotta have
get
some
into
fun.
the spirit.
Those dino suits are probably pretty warm too.
I love you. Oh no, different.
When did this become a thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of shoveling,
Yes.
a lot of people had said to me on Wednesday, this snow is backbreaking. So we did some math, and we figured out how much it all weighed and what the equivalent gym workout would be. The dense snow on Wednesday was a backbreaker. People were exhausted and sore just trying to dig out from the mix of snow, rain, and sleet. That got me thinking, how much does this kind of snow weigh? We know that 1 cubic foot of water contains 7.5 gallons, and we know that each gallon weighs 8.3 pounds. From that, we can figure out that each cubic foot of water weighs 62.4 pounds. But we aren't shoveling water, we're shoveling snow, so let's determine the weight of that. On Wednesday, Portland received 7.7 inches of snow, but the total liquid that fell during the storm was 1.4 inches. That means the snow-liquid ratio was a very heavy 5.5 to 1. Using that ratio, we can estimate each cubic foot of snow weighed 11.3 pounds. Assuming the average shovel is roughly 18 inches by 20 inches, that means that each shovelful is 1.6 cubic feet of snow. Multiplying that by our weight per cubic foot gives us 18.2 pounds per shovelful. Even if you're just digging out your average car of 177 inches by 80 inches wide, it would take nearly 70 scoops to get it moving, and that's assuming the plow doesn't bury you. So we went to the gym to figure out what 70 or so reps of 20 pounds look like outside of snow pants and gloves. All right, we're gonna talk about and show you some of the exercises that simulate shoveling out there. What's the first one?
The first one's gonna be a stiff leg deadlift.
The premise being that you should be using your legs as much as possible, so the next one is also leg driven.
Yep, this is a goblet squat. Something I'd recommend would be just super simple, no dumbbells, no equipment needed. You can do it at home, a Superman, so I'll demonstrate that right now.
All right. This is also best done right after you mop the floor.
Dumbbell front raise.
Who's counting? Are you counting?
Nope. Bicep curl. Simulating a sit-up or a crunch. Basically, this is going to be clean and jerk. And pull up. Good.
By the time you're done digging out just one car, you've lifted 1,236 pounds. I'm Keith Carson, News Center, Maine.
Okay. Never drop the weights like that.
I asked if I could do it first.
You said. They said it was okay?
Yeah, and I actually recorded a part that didn't get in there. My favorite part of the gym is they have these big bumper plates for that, right? So they bounce. They're like Olympic. But every plate looks gigantic. So you put 10 pounds on there, and the plate's this big.
The big wheels.
So you're like, oh, I'm just putting some weight on here, nothing to look at.
Yeah.
But so you figure that's 1,200 pounds just for a car. So if you dig out your average driveway, it's at least 2 times that, if not more. So you could conceivably be lifting 3,000 pounds.
Yeah.
Which is why you need to be careful.
Right.
No, I mean,
bad things happen.
I was thinking about 20 pounds every time I was the other day. I was like, gosh, this feels like about 20
Are you
pounds.
still feeling
I
it?
think we said 18.6. So,
and it doesn't include, by the way, if you have water that pooled underneath it. You ever scoop up snow and you get water?
Oh, yeah.
That doesn't include that. So if that happens, it could be up to 25 pounds per scoop. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Intense.
One way it gets swole.
Hans and Franz shoveling.
Yeah.
Earning those Valentine's Day treats this week.
You up.
News Center Maine at 5:30 starts right now. Great. Bye, guys.
Bye, Facebook. Have a great weekend.
Happy weekend. Oh my.